Shri Ramayana, one of the earliest accounts of the history of Bharat, and Ravanasura, a very important character in the history of Bharat. Very inspirational, I must say, for not so very good reasons, and a lot of us have pretty much a similar understanding. However, in recent times, there has been a trend of glorification of Ravanasura, generally from a sect of filmmakers, pseudo feminists, activists, etc. Problem is not that these guys are glorifying, but the problem is on what basis are these guys glorifying? That's the question. Let's try and find the answers. What is truth? What is not? What is the real character of Ravanasura? Here is a word to word translation from Valmiki's Ramayana. So let's break this video into three parts. The first one is the background of Ravana. The second one is general distortions about Ravana that we have been seeing in the mainstream, what is actually written in Valmiki's Ramayana, and what we get to hear generally out in the public sphere. And the third is the most important one, the real character of Ravanasura. So let's get started. Background of Ravana. So let's try and understand the family tree of Ravana. At the top there is Brahmadev in the position of the creator to this cosmos, and then we have Saptarishi, Atri, Agnirasa, Pulaha, Pulastya, Kratu, Marichi, Veshta. One of these seven, Pulastya Rishi, has a son named Vishrava who married a lady named Ilavida, and they have a son Kubera. And again Vishrava marries Kaikesi, and they both have four children: Ravana, Supranaka, Kumbhakaran and Vibhishan. By birth, he was given the name Dussehra, the one with 10 heads, and also Paulisya here, but the name Ravana is given to him by Lord Shiva, which is again a different story. But if we just look at the meaning of the word Ravana, which means the one who has a violent and loud cry. That is the meaning of Ravana. We can come across a more detailed meaning of Ravana. Just before the war, Ravana sends a rakshasa Shuka as his messenger to Sugriva and Hanuman, and these are the words said by Sukha about Ravana, praising him, which means Ravana, the one who could make the whole world cry. So the name Ravana has a very negative connotation, where it's that the one who could inflict pain and suffering and make the whole world cry. That is Ravana. A very ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, and not just that, he is also very well versed in Vedas and warfare and a lot more, especially music. Do celebrate the province of Ravanasura till today in the form of Shiva, thunder. So always coming back, Ravanasura is very ardent devotee of Lord Shiva and is also very well versed in Vedas and shastras, and is incredibly talented and indeed a very great personality. Ravana, the Shirva, Polasasya, and he also has another name, Laṅkāvatāra. That's because he waged a war against his brother Kubera and gained control over Lanka, which is described as a very beautiful city as for Valmiki's Ramayana. So that's all in all, a quick background about Ravana. Now comes the chapter, the journal distortions about Ravana, the very reason which motivated me to make this video. Now let's see the real truth behind the claims of this sort of feminist and certain sect of actors who kind of glorify Ravana. Let's see in it black and white. Before we get any further, let me tell you the purpose of Shri Ramayana, the reason why it has been followed since generations. It has been revered as a tool for self-introspection, and the key takeaways from Shri Ramayana has always been the ethic, values and morals. So when you read through So when you read through, say for instance, if you like the character of Ravana, you can be like Ravana and eventually the consequences follow. And the same way, if I like Hanuman, I can be like Hanuman and the consequences associated with his life will follow. So, getting straight to the point, one of the most important distortions about Ravana is he never touched Sita Devi and he has been used as one of the prime reasons to glorify him. Noble is Ravana that he never touched Sita Devi despite abducting her. Absolutely nonsense. Ravana, with his left hand holding her hair, holding Sita Devi by her hair, he grabbed her by the hair and lifted up her in an extremely inappropriate manner. And as she tries to resist and fight back, he eventually grabs her by her waist and abducts her. And this painting, what you are seeing here, drawn by Raja Ravi Verma, shows exactly how she was abducted by Ravana as per Valmiki's Ramayana. Now you might think, why is it so big deal about this one? Let me tell you, the never touched Sita is being used as a stupid reason for glorification of Ravanasura. Another very important distortion about Ravana is when Sita Devi was in the hostage in Lanka, he treated her very well. This again I disagree. Because Ravana talks to Sita Devi in an extremely vulgar and inappropriate manner, even by today to a stranger woman in that way today, will invite serious legal implications. He describes her beauty in a very objectionable and inappropriate manner that the reality is Ravana tortures Sita Devi with his words and tries her to lure her, becoming his consort, and not just even drive Sita Devi towards suicide. She said she wants to die and leave his body, driving a woman towards suicide. Well, that's the character of Ravana for the record. And this is another very heart-wrenching incident where he tortures her during the war at the moment when both Rama and Lakshmana fell unconscious. Ravana manipulates this situation saying that they both are dead and takes Sita Devi to the war field, showing her the bodies of Rama and Lakshmana, and tricks her saying that they both are now dead. And this is one of the horrible torture that Ravana puts Sita Devi through because she believes that Rama was really killed by Ravana at that point in time. And also a similar manipulation is also flipped towards Rama to demoralize him. An exact look-alike of Sita Devi is created and she dragged by her hair into the war field and beheaded by Indrajit while Rama and Lakshmana and the whole army was watching beheading Sita Devi. That's what was done, at least created. Let's get to the most important distortion about Ravana, that the main reason why Ravana abducted Sita Devi is avenge the pain that his sister has came across, Supranakha. Now I came across couple of very idiotic and silly articles or public statements from a pseudo-feminists that they don't want a husband like Rama, but they want a brother like Ravana. Okay, let's focus only on Ravanasur. As I said, it's very important to learn about Ravanasur these days. Let us see the sequence of events which led to the abduction of Sita Devi. So, firstly, while Shri Rama, Sita Devi, and Lakshmana were in the forest, Supranakha approaches Shri Rama and tries to lure him in accepting her as his wife, and in fact goes to extent of attacking Sita Devi as she is a hurdle for Supranakha to get to Rama, and then eventually Lakshmana, an act of defense, disfigures her face and punishes her, and then Supranakha, who is in pain, goes cry to her brother Kara and Dussehra, two other rakshasas who are also brother of Ravana. Then Kara, Dussehra attacks Rama and Lakshmana, and eventually Rama and Lakshmana in a fight with them they killed the Kara, and eventually Ravana learns the fact that both Kara and Dussehra were killed by Rama and Lakshmana. That's when Supranakha twists the tale saying that Rama who was so powerful, who killed his brothers Khara and Dussehra, was so powerful because she has a very beautiful wife, the name Sita. Supranakha twisted the tale, saying that whoever marries Sita will eventually become as invincible ruler of the worlds, and describes her incredible beauty to Ravanasura and drives him towards lust. And she says that while Supranakha was trying to get Sita as a wife for Ravanasura, Rama and Lakshmana defended her and disfigured her face. So basically, what Supranakha is saying is Sita is a very beautiful woman, and whoever marries her will eventually become an invincible ruler of all the worlds. And she very explicitly and intentionally drives Ravana towards lust and provokes her that he should marry Sita to become the ruler of the world. And this is the bloody reason why Ravana decided to abduct Sita, not to avenge the attack on Supranakha but to satisfy his lust. A simple common sense: if at all he has to avenge her sister's insult, he should be directly attacking Rama and Lakshmana, but abduct Sita. It's the simple common sense. There is not a single word written in Valmiki's Ramayana that Ravana decided to abduct Sita to avenge the insult done to his sister Supranakha. And this one shloka here are the last words spoken by Supranakha to her brother Ravana, saying, if you desire to make her as your wife, and if you aspire for success quickly, now itself go and bring her. And that's when Ravana moves to abduct Sita Devi. Now the reason I'm going to this level of detail in Ravana abducted to avenge the insult done to his sister Supranakha, and this distortion is being portrayed as if he's a noble brother, but that's absolutely nonsense. The only reason why he goes to abduct Sita Devi is he got moved by the beauty and charm of Sita Devi, and it's just nothing but lust of Ravanasura which drives to abduct Sita Devi. If you read Shri Ramayana, you will get to know real facts, and this absolutely non-seeker claims that I don't want a husband like Rama, I want a brother like Ravana. All these are stupid statements made by idiots who definitely would have never read Ramayana in their entire life. So those are the general distortion about Ravanasura, which I tried my best to put forward things in black and white, with taking Valmiki's Ramayana as the baseline and the only reference now. Let's get to the third one, the real character of Ravanasura. Putting all the pieces of puzzles together, what kind of personality he really was. If I want to understand the character of a person, then the most reliable way of getting the facts is if an enemy praises the good qualities in that person, then that will definitely be a very reliable account. And at the same time, to understand the bad qualities in the same person, if said by his or her own people, that would be very reliable account. So that is the approach that I have taken. Here is articulating the character of Ravanasura as given in Valmiki's Ramayana. These are the words spoken by Anjaneya Swami about Ravanasura when he came for the first time. What a figure, what a courage, what a strength, what a splendor. Anjaneya Swami was shocked at one point in time, looking at the grandeur of Ravanasura, his valor, his courage, his strength. So as Anjaneya Swami is the prime enemy of Ravanasura, definitely these words spoken by him are very reliable about Ravanasura. But there is also an extension to the word Anjaneya Swami about Ravana. He says that the king of the demons, not been on the wrong path or unrighteousness, had he not abducted Sita Devi, Ravanasura could have been the ruler of all the worlds. Such was his valor and strength. but just one huge mistake of abducting Sita Devi, another man's wife, has completely obliterated the character of Ravanasura. This is what Anjani Swami intends in his lines here, and very interestingly, this is what Shri Rama said about Ravana. Ravana may be full of unrighteousness and falsehood and all the adharm that he has committed throughout his life, but he was brilliant, strong, and ever a brave warrior. And battle Shri Rama himself praises Ravana for all his intellect, valor, courage, strength, and indeed Ravanasura was very invincible warrior. And now that we have seen some of the best qualities of Ravanasura acknowledged by his own enemies, which I said will definitely be a reliable account hearing your good qualities right from your enemies. Let's see the bad qualities of Ravanasura said by his own wife Mandodari. At the end of the battle, once Ravanasura was killed by Rama, Mandodari grieves his death in the battlefield, holding his dead body, and these are the words Mandodari: at time there is no causeless death for any living being. As for you, Sita has become the cause. Then she goes on saying that it's not Rama who killed Ravana, but it's his lust and his abduction of Sita Devi are the reason for his death. So that's very clearly establishes that Ravana was a very lustful person, and in that grief she also says that Ravana used to abduct women of gods, demons, and human beings. He brought in suffering for all those women. So basically he used to abduct wife of other men and inflict pain and suffering on those women, and these are the words of Mandodari about her own husband Ravana. One who used to give pain and suffering to the women of his enemies' wives, that was Ravanasura as per Mandodari. Another very important negative quality of Ravanasura was his arrogance and ego. There are tens of instances across Sri Rama. People advises Ravanasura to give back Sita Devi to Sri Rama, but still he doesn't pay heed to all those advisors. His brother Kumbhakaran, Vibhishana, and his servant Marichi, and his father-in-law and Mandodari herself advises Ravana many times to return back Sita to Shri Rama. Ravanasura was very arrogant, and he goes to the extent of all his brothers, children's, grandchildren, all of them he drives them towards war and eventually death, just for two reasons. Number one is his lust, number two is no matter how great qualities Ravanasura has, just these two factors, the lust and ego, made him bite the dust, and his entire kingdom got perished. And that is the most reliable account about Ravanasura in a very unbiased manner, going strict as per Valmiki's Ramayana. The best thing with the history of Bharat is people here have the freedom to critique, question, analyze, and seek. So, for instance, there are certain moments in Shri Ramayana where you did not like the way Shri Rama spoke towards Sita Devi. Before Agni Pariksha, yes, definitely you can critique it, because it's indeed a very heart-wrenching moment for a woman to hear such words from her own husband. But at the same time, those moments should not lead way to politically or religiously alter the history in the interest of certain sect of people, that there are tons and tons of great qualities from Sri Rama that are inspirations for more than a billion people in India. These few touchy moments in Sri Ramayana gave way for people to glorify the other side of the table, which is Ravanasura. That is incredible nonsense and totally absurd, all the glorification of Ravanasura. You have just seen how the things are actually documented in Valmiki's Ramayana. This is how certain sects of people are twisting the trail to suit their religion's political agenda. And this video is a small attempt to set the record straight and bring forward the facts and truth in black and white about Ravanasura. As always, thanks for listening.